we just had I'm going to call it our annual drive to get staff, because when I say the name, you'll understand why. And the district manager is already gone. And I was like, okay. And then as I was preparing to reposition myself to walk out of the door I came in, the guy said, but wait a minute. He said, the area manager is across the street at the other store. I was like, oh, okay. So I thanked them for the time. I went back out to my car. It was in the parking lot. It was a 79 Regal Limited. I sat in the car and sat in the seat, and I looked up at the ceiling of the car. And again, can I be myself? I said, the only reason why I'm here on a Saturday morning is because you said to come. Now I'm going to go. Now y'all just pray for me. I'm telling y'all, he knows us and he knows me. And I didn't feel reprimanded. I'm here because you told me to. So I'm going to go across the street, and that's what I did. I walked across the street to the store. I walked in the door, and there was a rep carrying a big box, walking across the floor of the store. I said, excuse me, sir, excuse me. I said, my name is Charles Manns, and I'd like to apply for a position with your organization. And he stared at me, didn't say a word. And it seemed like it was probably only, no more than 10 seconds. He said, what can you do? And I just gave him a verbal breakdown of the jobs that I had had up until that point. And then he looked at me again. And he said, be here Monday morning at 9 a.m. Why am I telling you this? When that company closed down, I had no clue that I was going to have nothing. But here's the funny thing. I didn't say to God, you got to help me. I need a job. What I was going to do? Talk about me later. What am I going to do? But I didn't do that. I just went home. I had more of a concern that what am I going to say to this lady here about money's coming in? But then he awakened me the next morning and said, go. Now, the name of the place was Radio Shack. Back at that time, Radio Shack, they used to send out the circulars, just like the J.C. Penney catalogs, the Sears anytime they had their specialties. Amazon is a thing now, just like now. I think as of today is, Prime Day, shopping day. But back then, the Tandy Corporation, Radio Shack was the place to go to. They were more than a hobby store. They had a lot of things going on. But for the life of me, I don't know if I ever said to myself I wanted to work there. But on that Saturday morning, God said, put this tie on, put this shirt on, put these pants on, and I want you to go there and apply for a job. And the rest I just told you about. They allowed me to work there as management trainee, and I started Monday morning the training process. The store I ended up working at was at 116th and Halsted in Chicago. That job came without me asking for the job, but God knew. So today, God be the glory. And those that were chuckling when I was singing, unto thee, O Lord, I'm singing from my heart. He loves you the same. And can I tell y'all a secret? Somebody one day should not have showed me the things that God can do in his word. Y'all shouldn't have showed me that. What do they have in tarot? They got the Fool card. What do y'all have in the word? Faith. For me, God, Jesus, the Lord, our Savior, he changes not. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. What he did for them, he's able to do for us today. That's why High C is here. This is a part of what we're doing. We want to remember who God is. He's not man that he should lie. he will perform. How many believe? How many believe? I'm going somewhere. My wife is raising her hand, I believe. And some of you heard me say the best is yet to come. We haven't seen God's best. I said in one of the videos, I talked about the I ams that I was given. Please know and understand. I didn't read that anywhere. I didn't pull that up. It just flowed out. The words flowed out and I attached the I am that I am. But one of the I ams that is ringing in my mind is I am that I am, wealthy beyond measure, abundant in all areas of life, including the treasures of darkness and the hidden riches in secret places. I believe God. I am that I am, walking by now faith and not by sight. For by it the elders obtained a good report, many of whom the world was not worthy. Yes, I told you I expanded since I got it. Glory to God. Faith! Now let me take us a little bit further. What brought us to this time today? I took a couple of days off for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to say them out loud. One is I want to make sure some time is available for this girl. She's waiting for some contact time. I know. Yes, I said what I said. And can I say something else? This is a sidebar. Because there was a time that going to the Chinese restaurant was like some of y'all's oysters. Do I need to say any more? Do they call it the aphrodisiac? Is that what they used to call it? Am I missing the word? And another sidebar. This has nothing to do with what I'm getting ready to say. But y'all remember back when, maybe it's just us where we came from, but the Chinese restaurants we went to, y'all remember they used to fill those bins up till they were born. You couldn't get nothing else in them.
Hey!
But you go to them now, they all nice and level. Y'all want to get a blessing from God. When you're asked to do something or to give of yourselves, give a little bit more. I want to believe that some of those restaurants knew the blessing in being bountiful in their giving. The price didn't change. It's probably changed now. And maybe you know of some places where the things are still full. But that was just a sidebar. It has nothing to do with where I was getting ready to go. But what I want to talk about now is this. Because this is the first, there's a few things that came to mind. But y'all remember the story about the prodigal son? I'm trying to go somewhere with this. The prodigal son. The the father. The father had two sons. He had the eldest son and he had the younger son. The younger son decided, I want it and I want it now. He wanted whatever was coming to him right now because he wanted to live his life. He didn't want to wait. He didn't want to be under the watch of or under the hand of his father meting out or by measurement giving his inheritance. He said, I want it now. And the father being the father, he divided up the portion. Big brother didn't complain. But historically speaking, the eldest is the one that got the double portion. They were the firstborn. That's where the power was seated, in the firstborn son. But he didn't complain. Divvy it up. It's all good. And the young one went out there and he basically spoiled his goods. I want it my way. I want it now. And I don't want to hear nothing about it. And he went out there. And I remember the video the last time I was saying, and he was living it up. Oh, yes. Whatever he thought he could do, yes, even then. Oh, yeah, they had harlots back then, what we know as prostitutes. When I was driving trucks, they told me to be on the lookout for lot lizards. That's what they called them back then when I was driving trucks. Where the trucks parked their cars, they called the prostitutes, scurrying about trying to make a sale, lot lizards. But they had lot lizards back then. Come on. He was probably, y'all know how y'all do when y'all get a little money, and y'all know how some of y'all's friends do. Everybody come around when the money's good, right? Even when they ain't got nothing, because they all want to partake in your, come on, it was his inheritance. And he spoiled it until it was withered away. And the time it came that there was famine in the land. There wasn't plenty around him, and no longer did he hold the plenty. And he lit himself out. Isn't that what some of us do? We run away. Some of us, we run away from God. Some of us, we run away from our marriages. Some of us, we run away because we don't want to have an overseer. We want our independence. We want to do it our way. But some of us, we need somebody to have a lead on us. And I'm talking about the lead that you would have on a horse, or the lead you would have walking your dog. Some of us need that lead. Otherwise, we can mess some stuff up. But he found himself in need. His father had already let him go. His brother said, yeah, whatever, boy, you don't know what you're doing. But he lent himself out, a slave, dealing with hogs. Come on. When you don't have nothing, you'll take anything. And not only that, you'll do anything. Come on now. When you get out there, you'll find yourself doing things you wouldn't have normally done. Huh? There's drugs out there. There's crime of all sorts out there. There's theft and things of that nature. But when you don't have, you're willing to do anything. And he was willing to do anything, but it didn't stop there. He said the husks that the hogs were eating, he was so depleted that he would have eaten the husks, the very husks that the hogs was eating. But then, he had an epiphany. He began to remember. Y'all remember me talking about walking around the places and taking memorials, but he remembered his father and what he had and the servants he had and the abundance that he had. He came to himself and realized, he said, I'll return. I'll return. I want to say something about that. When y'all have a chance, I believe that's in Luke, maybe the 15th chapter, or do a search in Google. I don't have it written down right here, but do the search and find it, read that story. But I want to highlight the dad. I want to highlight the father. First of all, he came to himself. You heard me say on occasion, we need to consider when you hear certain things or find yourself in certain places. When you're down, you think about a lot of things. You review, hopefully, what brought you there, what brought you to that place. Was it the hard-headedness, the hard-heartedness? Was it pride? Was it ego?